The boy was lugging 3 blocks of ice. A rich kid slammed on the brakes on purpose. Instead of apologizing, he just laughed and mocked him. The boy scrambled to get out of the way. Watching the convertible speed off, frustration was all over his face. But in the next moment, everything was about to change. The newspaper, lying in the weeds, told the legendary story of steel magnate Andrew Carnegie. Like him, the boy had dropped out of school at 14 and been teased by rich kids. In that moment, something in his heart began to stir. But soon, his father crushed his dreams.
I'm gonna be a billionaire. Like this man, Andrew Carnegie.
Get it in your head, son. You ain't ever gonna be rich. Only thing you're ever gonna be able to count on is coming up on the short end. That's what was handed me by my daddy, and I'm sorry, but that's all you're ever gonna get from me.
They were so poor that they struggled just to eat. Seeing his sick mother broke his heart.
I'm sorry. You have to work so hard. It's not fair.
It's okay.
Maybe if one less person ate, his mother could get her medicine. With tears held back, he said goodbye to his mother. As the door creaked open, he silently swore that
No matter what Daddy says, I don't accept being poor as my destiny.
no one knew a world-changing oil magnate was about to be born. Running away from home, Red snuck into the train station, where an old man appeared and helped him avoid a search.
Wait.
They rushed to catch the train, making it just in time. When Red opened his eyes again, the old man was praying into the air. Red asked him, why?
I'm making my golden list. Something my mom taught me. Every day, rain or shine, I make a list of 10 things that I'm grateful to God for.
But the old man patiently explained.
Everybody got at least 10 things to be grateful for.
Red didn't quite get it, and before he could ask more, the train reached Texas. The old man suddenly jumped off the train, and Red panicked. When he finally gathered the courage to jump off, the old man was already gone. Without a plan, Red followed a passerby and soon found himself in a nearby town. Luckily, a farmer was hiring.
Looking for 6 strong backs, put up some cattle fence.
But his competitors were all big, strong men, and Red, being short, was completely ignored. As the positions dwindled, he shouted anxiously, desperately trying to sell himself. The farmer laughed at him but was impressed by his enthusiasm, so Red got the job.
Got it.
However, it was clear he wasn't cut out for the work. When Gus knocked down a wooden stake, Red felt discouraged, but he didn't give up. While the others rested, he kept reinforcing the work. Gus, feeling sorry for him, brought him a bowl of water. The two soon became friends. Gus had come from a wealthy farming family, but during the Great Depression, the bank had seized their land, and even his father had to become a worker. Gus's biggest dream was,
I'm gonna have me my own ranch. And it'll be bigger than this one. Then I'm gonna take over the bank.
From then on, the two down and out young men became friends. That night, while the workers were playing poker, Red sat quietly. Suddenly, it hit him working for others would never make him rich. It was just wasting time.
So quick to the punch. Come on, Red, where you going?
So, he went straight to the farmer and asked him for advice.
Successful, just like you are. I want to know how to get what you have.
The farmer didn't mock his boldness, invited him to sit, and generously shared his success story.
Success takes a lot of things, son. A lot of things working together. I guess you don't want to be a sheep. You want to be the bellwether.
The bellwether.
The leader, son. A leader of men. To make things successful for yourself.
Red thought for a moment, then asked again.
Get that fence finished today early. Does that save you any money?
Sure. On feed, yeah, you bet.
You split those savings with me, I'll have that fence finished by tomorrow.
And the farmer smiled, thinking he couldn't do it. The next day, when the work bell rang, the workers realized Red was gone. It turned out he had woken up at 3 a.m. and worked alone, planting over 300 yards of stakes. Red had learned the work processes. He suggested they divide the labor. The faster they worked, the sooner they could get paid and have fun. For people would measure and dig holes, and two would place and secure the stakes. With Red's smart plan, the farm's efficiency greatly improved. The farmer was very pleased, and by sunset, the work was done.
Big guy, you are. Thank you very much. There you go. Thank you. Oh, yeah. And a little extra here. Thank you very much.
Red earned an extra $10. It was his first real earnings. He went to the post office and sent $20 home to buy medicine for his mother. Just then, a golden belt appeared, changing his fate. The belt looked expensive, clearly a symbol of wealth.
Want to catch flies with your trap open like that, kid?
Red asked the man how he could get so rich. The man told him that Texas was full of wealth.
There's more of it in Texas than God knows what to do with.
Clever Red immediately thought of all.
Am I right? It's oil.
The man didn't answer, but Red already knew the answer. But soon, something unexpected happened. A beautiful girl appeared, and Red couldn't take his eyes off her.
Howdy.
He was so nervous he couldn't speak. Luckily, Hannah didn't mind and even invited Red to the dance. When Red put on his new suit and danced with the school beauty, his first words shocked her.
I think I want to marry you.
Well, you're not tongue-tied anymore.
The next day, when Hannah walked out of school, Red was already waiting at the corner. Faced with the mockery of a rich kid, Red fired back.
About done there, hayseed. We gotta go.
Hey, learn some manners, Ace. Someday this hayseed's gonna be a billionaire.
Hannah, we gotta go. Maybe Daddy Warbucks there can drive you home in his limousine.
Fine, just go already.
After hearing his ambitions, Hannah took him straight to the principal's office to help him get a spot in school. The principal even promised him a dorm room for free, but Red didn't appreciate it. Instead, he refused right then and there, listing a series of wealthy people to prove that school was just a waste of time, and that anyone could become a billionaire without it. To prove himself, Red let Hannah pick any question.
56,679 times 61.
And in just 1 second, he answered it.
4,457,419.
Hannah was shocked. Not only that, but he also knew the principal had a skin condition because the plants around the school made him allergic. Red's competitive and arrogant personality disappointed Hannah.
School's a waste of time.
Why do you have such a chip on your shoulder? I would have believed in you, Red.
But the next day, a new student suddenly showed up in her class.
Thank you, Red.
Hannah was overjoyed. From then on, they ate together, took walks, and kissed secretly in the hallways. Even just sharing a drink together made them incredibly happy. One day, Hannah looked at the ring on her finger and asked what Red could give her. Red immediately promised.
Fancy car, big house, bigger ring.
But Hannah replied.
What if I say I just want you?
Just then, the news came in.
Turn the radio on. Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor.
Japan had attacked Pearl Harbor. That meant war was coming. Being the passionate young man he was, Red decided to enlist. The army was leaving soon, and he didn't tell his girlfriend until after making the decision. Hannah was strongly against it,
Oh, this is crazy. You're too young.
even threatening to report him for lying about his age. but Red's determination forced her to compromise.
How can I ever be worthy of getting my share if I'm not willing to go fight for it?
And she promised to support him and wait for his return. The front lines were tough, and a new group of recruits had just arrived. The commander ordered a rookie to deliver a message. While his comrades hesitated, Red grabbed the letter and rushed out, always quick to seize an opportunity. But he didn't get far before an explosion threw him into the air. At that critical moment, a familiar figure appeared and saved him. Gus. 10 years passed, and after retiring, Red still hadn't given up on his dream of striking it rich with all. He used all his savings to buy the best drilling equipment. But even after drilling over 1,000 meters, all he found was dirt. His partner sighed, and Red got furious.
You learn how to find other men oil, and it's my turn now. My gut says it's here.
Still convinced the land held treasure, he demanded they dig 35 more feet. The workers, frustrated,
I don't hire a man back when he quits on me.
walked off, leaving Red to work alone. When he came home, feeling defeated, he found his wife, Hannah, and his 4 kids waiting. But their life together wasn't as happy as he'd imagined.
I know you think it's all about bank accounts and oil wells, but it's not. It's right out there.
After hearing his wife's advice, Red looked out the window at his son playing alone. As a father, he realized he hadn't been doing his part. When he showed up wearing work gloves, his son was overjoyed. He wanted to learn how to throw a curveball, but Red couldn't do it either.
Well, someone's gotta know. What you call him?
His son's reminder suddenly made him realize something important.
An expert.
Soon, a highly paid expert arrived. The man measured everything with a level, then suddenly ran to another spot. Put on headphones, and started listening intently. A few minutes later, he pinpointed the exact drilling location.
We agreed on 3%, right? Yeah, 3%. Here. Here what? Drill here.
Red was skeptical, but at that point, he had no other choice. In their cozy little home, Hannah was sitting at the table with the kids when a man covered in black soot appeared.
Oh, Red!
Without hesitation, Hannah ran to him, and they embraced, celebrating the start of their victory.
Oh, Billy boy. Billy boy, are we gonna be rich? We are gonna be stinking rich! Stinking rich!
Red excitedly danced around, showing off his success to Gus.
I hit it! I hit it! I hit it!
It was reported that they could collect 506 barrels a day, each worth $2. According to the university expert, the whole field had at least 50 million barrels. While Red was busy planning his path to wealth, a court summons suddenly arrived. It was from the farm's previous owner, who was jealous of Red's success and had sued them for fraud. Faced with this, Red stood firm.
Take you to school.
I'll see you in court.
Oh, I'll see you in court.
Yeah, I'll be there, Red.
Oh, I'll be there. I'll see you. I'll see you.
He believed in leaving professional matters to professionals. He'd heard that the opposing lawyer was the top graduate from Howard University Law School. So Red immediately invited him to meet next Tuesday. In court, the farmer provoked Red again.
What you gonna do? Represent yourself?
But Red's lawyer showed up just in time.
Good to see you. It's been a long time.
Sure, his kind is even allowed in this courthouse.
After hearing the other lawyer's mockery, Red's lawyer asked just one question.
How fast would you like this to be?
Texas law clearly stated that disputes over mineral rights had a 2-year statute of limitations, and Red had signed the agreement 2 years and 2 months ago. The opposing lawyer stormed out, and Red's problem was easily solved. He immediately invited the man to be his full-time attorney.
How'd you like to work for me full-time? My business is going through the roof and I could use a good man like you around me. Go.
Before leaving the courthouse, Red said,
You know about oil?
Well, it's messy.
Texas gold.
10 years later, accompanied by experts, Red had acquired farm after farm and become a wealthy oil tycoon. His busy work life had almost consumed him. At the dinner table, his 4 kids bickered, and there was no warmth in their home.
It's the last time I come home for Christmas break.
It's not too late, you can leave.
As soon as Red entered, the kids immediately asked him for money.
Hey, Dad, can you spot me some cash too? I'm going to the arcade with some friends.
Look what you started.
There.
Thanks. So, there are these really, really, really cute boots that I am dying for.
Yeah? How much?
That'll do. Thank you so much. You're the best.
The empty dinner table disappointed Hannah, and just as she was about to complain,
When they do, you just throw cash at them.
Red turned around and walked out. The wealth Red had accumulated made him arrogant and cocky. He aimed to acquire the Tulsa refinery, but his brash attitude angered the other side.
You're rude, self-serving, and greedy.
I want to buy your refinery. And you need to sell it. Well, that makes you needing me. And that just makes your blood boil. Let's go.
They had no choice but to return to the hotel and wait for a response. Soon, Christmas Eve arrived, and Red's lawyer asked for time to reunite with his family, but Red chose to stay and continue waiting. The next day, there was a knock at the door. It was the refinery's manager, and Red's patience had paid off.
Mr. Strang, why did you wait till Christmas to give me this news?
Because I knew I could.
How?
The manager said that Red reminded him of his younger self. Red was puzzled, but soon, his sharp mind grasped the meaning of those words. In the latest issue of the newspaper, his old company was featured as a multi-billion-dollar enterprise. His dream, one he'd had since he was 14, had finally come true. Excited, he turned to share the moment.
I'm a billionaire.
Only to realize there was no one there. The joy of success quickly turned to loneliness. Just then, his wife called. When he got to the hospital, he found his lawyer in bed, clinging to life. It turned out that on Christmas Eve, while rushing to have dinner with his mother, the man had been hit by a train. The conductor had fallen asleep at the wheel. His kidneys had ruptured, and he would need a transplant to survive. Seeing his longtime friend in such a condition, Red was heartbroken. That was when he realized that in his pursuit of wealth, he had lost countless other important opportunities. He finally understood the meaning of the prayer the old man had said all those years ago. Luckily, fate gave him a chance to make things right. His blood type matched his friend's, and they were a perfect match for the transplant. A few days later, his friend woke up. When asked how it felt to be a billionaire, Red replied that, at that moment, he felt no joy, only regret and sorrow.
All that time thinking about it and dreaming about it, and when it finally happened, it just happened. The world kept moving on forward. There was no one there to share it with me. My kids are a mess. My wife thinks I'm lost.
But his friend said,
You could change that, Red.
After being released from the hospital, Red was no longer willing to be weighed down by money. He sincerely apologized to his wife and kids and announced that he and his wife would live a different life. From that point on, all the company's income would go into a foundation to help others. He handed each of his kids an envelope with $10,000 inside. Some planned to blow it all, while others wanted to save it in the bank. As he watched his children leave one by one, Red felt a bit of sadness. Just then, his youngest son came back holding his envelope.
Here you go. I don't need it. Put it in the foundation.
He wanted to donate the money to the foundation. And that's how the youngest son ended up becoming the heir to the company. Years later, Red's grandson, Jason, became the head of the foundation. But because of the vast wealth, he was sued by Uncle Bill. In court, what was supposed to be a peaceful family matter turned into a full-on battle, with relatives accusing each other over the $10 billion fund.
My grandfather wanted me to have the foundation because he knew his own children couldn't be trusted.
And that just goes to show just how far gone he was at the end. That he left $1 billion foundation in the hands of this spoiled, no good party boy who wants absolutely nothing to do with his own family.
Okay. Jason's busy work often made him neglect his girlfriend, Dr. Alexia. She decided to go to Haiti for 6 months to do medical work. When Jason found out, he didn't know where else to turn, so he went to his grandfather's old friend for advice.
Why would she do this?
I'm sure she didn't just on a whim decide to move to Haiti. But somehow... Listen, your grandfather had high expectations when he left the entire estate to you. And I guess I pushed you a little too hard also. The 12 gifts that Red taught you, any idea where they came from?
No.
Well, you're about to find out.
The old man handed him Red's journal.
February 1941. My 9th grade teacher, Mrs. Halpern, gave me this book full of blank pages. She said it might help to put my ideas on paper. Sounds a little girly to me, but she said that's a diary. Boys keep journals. There's a difference.
February 23rd, 1941. Finally quit school and got me my own job today, delivering ice.
After reading it, Jason was deeply moved.
The monetary inheritance that we accumulate to pass on to our children is not nearly as important as the personal legacy we pass on.
He finally understood the journey his grandfather had taken to build his wealth. The old man encouraged him to chase after his girlfriend, confident the hearing would be fine without him. In a strange city, a billionaire suddenly appeared. He found Eliza and told her he'd rather scrub floors than be apart from her.
Give me a job. I get empty the trash, mop the floors. If there were floors, I'd mop them. Anything you need.
His grandfather's experiences had taught him that keeping the ones you love close is more valuable than any amount of wealth.
I don't promise that I'll never stop trying to be the man that you deserve and need. And my promise that I will wait as long as I have to for you to be my wife.
They had a simple wedding in a church, and in the end, Jason wrote his 10 most heartfelt prayers in the sky. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe to my channel. I'll recommend more great films for you. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.
What are you doing?
Making my golden list. 10 things I'm grateful to God for today. Number 1, that we're both young and healthy.
What else?
That you love me.
And what else?
You want the whole list.
I want the whole list.
I'm grateful that Emily brought us together.
Me too.
Maybe we can add little Stevens to the list.
Maybe. Maybe someday soon.
Maybe a couple of dogs.
Yes.
Yeah?